Services, Lavazzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 611. I'm Adam and here's Mary Lang.
Well, I lost my notes on this Rosa Parks episode, so I don't have a quote.
And Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
We're here to pitch an invention. Yeah, it's a telephone that plays music, and it's a camera. It also takes a photo. It's a calendar, and it sends letters.
Cool. Yes, today the episode's quite easy to remember the title of. I believe it's called Rosa. Well, don't
yeah, but the fun thing about searching for my old notes for this, which I apparently didn't have any, was that I had someone in my emails name that. So.
No. I wonder if it's named after Ms. Parks herself.
No, they weren't.
Anyway, right. So, I was just typing something in while you were filling for me, Kirby. So, there we go.
Oh, what's that?
Yes, as we say, we don't hark on too much. So we realise that you can't create an ability if you like you've got insomnia, listening to a full 3/4 of an hour, or actually a synopsis for an episode that actually lasts longer than the episode itself. You know you're not on the right road. It's almost like jumping on a segregated bus. That was topical, wasn't it? So yes, so this episode was. Basically, it's a funny thing happened last
Master?
Yes?
Master, I'm doing a quick search to see if I can find a live feed. I cannot.
Well, why don't you go on our thingy thing? It's come up on mine twice.
I'm looking.
It's supposed to be on... Oh, it's gone on my... Oh, hang on. Why is it on my
Maybe,
page?
Sometimes you put it on your page by accident.
Yeah, I better take that off before people start taking the mickey out of me. Who's watching this? Who's watching first? I definitely went to the 20 megabyte page to post it. But it didn't end up on there. Ooh! No wonder Lillian's not watching. So what we're going to do... Oh, God, now I've got to work... Well, at least I know that works. End live video. There we go. Well done, Kirby. He's just trying to get a job as a technical assistant. I was definitely on that page because I went to 20 megabyte and I went to the live thingy, which now seems to have disappeared. Okay, right, so let's see if we can get this right. Well, I tell you, if I could be bothered to go over and get my bell, Kirby, you'd get a ding for that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so episode 610, sorry. And the thing was episode...
that's right. I don't even have the... we'll get so distracted, I don't even have the spreadsheet up. I guess I better do that.
Right, here we are. Let's see if we can start it again. Go live. 3, 2, 1. I've now got really itchy back. Just as well, because I was probably swearing on the other feed anyway. Right, so we should be running now. If I go to the 20 megabyte page, which I'm on. Oh, no, we're not. Let's refresh. There I am. Okay, as I was saying, I have already started the episode. Anybody who's jumping, or nil of you that have jumped on the live feed on the our Facebook group, I've already started. Thanks to Kirby. He saved the day on several occasions today. One, asked me about audio levels that weren't there because the recorder wasn't actually plugged into the machine. And two, inspiring me mentally to work out how to get a Teams meeting going for the second time round. Even though he didn't help at all. It's just mere pressure from Kirby enabled me to get the
that's why you pay me the big bucks.
Indeed. Right then, so as a way, we're doing Rosa this week, among other things. We're going to start with Rosa, which begins with... in fact, when I watched it, it began with the star, although the asteroid named Rosa Parks. I thought, I don't remember this bit being at the beginning, but what it was, obviously, the last time we watched it, iPlayer remembered where we'd got up to. So even though it was all those years ago, I pressed play and it was playing that bit. And I thought,
okay.
Slightly irritating, yeah. But yeah, so it begins with essentially, I think it's a scene, if I remember rightly, it wasn't that long ago since I watched it, where Rosa Parks gets on a bus and basically is told to go to the seat at the back of the bus, has a minor argument with the bus driver, and just as she's about to get in the back door bus, he drives off, even though she's paid him. And the doctor and her compatriots they're heading for one place, and they end up in that part of Alabama. And when the doctor finds
the TARDIS takes
the
TARDIS always takes the doctor where she needs to go.
Because there's Archer energy traces.
Yes.
They decided to just have a wander around in is it 1955 Alabama or 1959? I can't remember now. Either way,
I don't remember either.
Yeah, although it's the 50s.
I don't remember.
And they're walking along the road, and a lady drops a glove, and Ryan picks it up, and because Ryan has
1955,
a slightly different colour skin to the gentleman who he was sort of saying, "Excuse me, ma'am, you dropped your glove." He gets a punch. Sorry, he gets a punch in the face. He said slap. I think it was a punch. And
you and Isabella had the same argument last time.
What?
That you said punched and she said slapped.
Well, I'm going to go with punch because I know I'm right. Anyway, so a bit of a sort of rather nasty situation is sort of stamped out by a bit of politeness from this lady who happens to be Rosa Parks, and all obviously the TARDIS crew go all gooey because of the legendary status of Rosa Parks, and on the episode, and the episode therefore begins.
I like Master. I like the way that every time Ryan addresses her directly, he says, Mrs. Rosa Parks.
Yeah, but he did that later on with Martin Luther King, didn't he? Anyway,
yes.
So on they go. The doctor's trying to find the cause of the Artron energy thing, and they decide to go into a cafe bar type place and have a interesting conversation, and gradually realise it's gone a bit quiet, and they get kicked out. And of course Yaz is confused with being a Mexican, and which I thought was quite clever writing, to be fair. And,
I always wondered about that because she definitely has darker skin,
yes.
And yet nobody makes a comment to her. It's always, just Ryan that gets all the flack.
I think it's just assumptions, isn't it? They wouldn't expect to see a woman of Indian descent in Alabama in the 1950s, so they just assumed it's a Mexican with a very good suntan, I presume. I don't know, but it sort of works.
To me, she looked pretty dark, so yeah. I'm thinking that we're just letting this one slip by. But I think that they would have made a fuss had they in real life.
Yeah, because this thing, its skin is quite dark. I suppose they would have just assumed she was an African descended lady, because I think hair was being straightened in that time. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, so the doctor, cutting a long story short, after they get kicked out of the cafe, they get a motel and strike up a plan. And I know there was a scene in which Graham got quite excited because the doctor name dropping Elvis Presley, but she eventually quickly finds this baddie bloke who
Master. The Elvis Presley thing does come into play later because. The doctor actually calls Elvis. And
I know it was relevant to the story, but it was typical doctor name dropping. Anyway, so this sort of baddie bloke, he's from the Storm Cage. We'll find this out later, obviously, after he tries to kill. We've assumed kill things. What he's actually doing is doing what the Weeping Angels do, sending things elsewhere in time. And we find out later on. It doesn't matter if I tell you now. It's not spoilers, because you've probably already seen this episode. But is one of his parts of his sentencing to the Storm Cage is to have his violent tendencies subdued and taken away.
And Master, I deliberately did not spoil yesterday either.
Yes, I was winding you up, and it appears quite successfully. Anyway. I tried that with Graham Baird as well, who was posting loads of stuff about the episode, but he didn't respond. So, but there you go. Where did I get up to? Oh yeah, so this chap is he's from the Storm Cage. He's got a vortex manipulator, which at the time I thought was a bit odd because it looked like there was a character that they were going to bring back. But it turns out, as far as I can make out, that the vortex manipulator may have belonged to Captain Jack or been one of his. Because obviously, do we not find out later on that Captain Jack is in the Storm Cage? He's a prisoner there.
I don't remember.
Later on in the series, potentially. All right, I just talked to myself.
Was he?
Anyway,
Not really, no.
But I think the mentioning of it is preparing us for when the Doctor gets sent there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where Captain Jack was. But
Yeah.
Anyway, back to so she smashes the vortex manipulator and sends his weaponry or whatever it is to another, rather cleverly by throwing up in the air. Because he's trying to, because he can't kill it.
Master. No, his time blaster thing is kept around, and Ryan uses it later to send him
one
back.
part of it was kept, but most of it was blasted away. But he's because he can't kill anyone, he's just trying to sort of change elements of history, and on this occasion he's trying to stop Rosa Parks from refusing to move seats, because obviously it was quite important for ethnic people in America that she does refuse, because she gets arrested, and then there's a big protest at the bus company, etc., etc. So he's trying to stop this. So he manipulates things by changing the bus driver. Is it Mr. Banks? I can't remember his name. And changing his rota so as he's not there to do the offending event. And then Graham and Ryan manipulate it so he is there to do. And of course the Doctor and Yaz go and see the chap who'd been replaced and send him off, thanks to Elvis and Frank Sinatra's, to a Frank Sinatra concert. Yes.
I love that.
And inevitably, after Ryan follows Rosa home, and I was watching it with Deb, thinking, oh God, he's stalking her, and of course that was all part of the scene and done really, really well. And Ryan meeting Martin Luther King and the family within that house is quite nice. And the other scene where the Doctor rips her coat so Yaz can just delay her so she catches the right bus. All that was done really sort of well, a bit like Back to the Future in some ways. But bear in mind it is a time travel program, so there you go. And inevitably we see the scene where Rosa refuses, because they have to make sure there's enough people on the bus, so the seats are taken, so she doesn't move, and then she gets arrested and on the go. I'll tell you what though, that's the story basically. It's the Rosa Parks story with the Doctor and her companions, with a little bit of sci-fi thrown in. But as I said to you last time we watched it, I hadn't heard of Rosa Parks, and I feel rather ashamed of that, to be fair. But watching it this time, I found it really, really emotional towards the end. And I was sort of looking at it, and I remember looking at the expressions on the actors' faces on that bus, like Bradley Walsh and Jodie Whittaker, all their eyes. And I thought, well, come on, you're really pushing this a bit too far. But I felt it this time, because I knew of the story, I knew of the impact of what this moment of history meant. And it was, I had to compose myself for a bit, and that's probably why there's a bit of a delay to the start of this episode. But it's the only thing that was a bit cheesy was the bit at the end with the history lesson in the TARDIS, where they explain the full thing. But then they showed that clip of the real Rosa Parks getting a medal from the president, and that sort of set it going again. And at the time I thought that was a bit over the top. The history lesson probably was a bit over the top, but I suppose they had to do that to show that.
It was way over the top. Yeah. To say that she changed the world, she didn't. She changed
the world for certain people.
Relations here.
Yeah.
But, slavery had and that negativity towards blacks had already left a lot of other portions of the world.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of
I think she changed the world in a way that she inspired a lot of people to stand up for their rights, I suppose. Like a lot of, rights people do, but what people that do something that changes the attitudes of people. I think that's what they mean. She's changed the world in that aspect, or the world
Adam,
for some people.
When you went to school, did you learn about Rosa Parks?
No, because Rosa Parks. Well, some people might have known about it. Rosa Parks is very much an American icon. There were other people.
The fact that Yaz knows about her and they all know. I'm thinking, was that part of English education?
No, it might have been after I left school, though, Mary. When I was at school, it was a long, long time ago. Yes.
Doubtful.
Master. When we recorded before in 2018, both Isabella and Debbie had definitely learn about her at school.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Isabella up near that. I didn't. Oh, the people we had to look up to at school were people of an ethnic aspect of people like Martin Luther King. Same era, but I think Luther King had, he'd had more higher profile than maybe Rosa needed to get assassinated. Perhaps maybe that would have made her a bit more, well known in our educational system. I don't know, but they do know about her now, which is great. But yeah, it's that's so. Like I said, Mary, it's the history lesson in the TARDIS. It was a bit sort of preachy, but I suppose they had to work a way of being able to show that wonderful clip of her getting that medal from the president, which is nice. I think it was a nice touch. It could have been done better within the brackets of what was in fact a really, really good tribute and history episode, etc., etc. And it was beautifully shot, well acted, and I didn't see, and in some ways I still don't see the point of that the pantomime villain that was in it for. They might as well have got someone else. Yes, Kirby.
Well, I was agreeing with you. There was really no point of the villain, except he's there because there has to be a villain.
Yes.
But there was no.
Well, for me, the villain could have been the bus driver.
It's just a villain, and he was not fleshed out much at all.
No.
Other than that, it's a really good episode. I do agree that pound the history in at the end was a little too much. But other than that, it's actually one of the best things that Chib seems to have written.
But he didn't write it, though, did he? He added bits to it, but he didn't actually write the episode.
Right, and I read an article just earlier today saying someone went back and compared it against the real history, and it's very, very accurate. Although they don't know if she was delayed at getting on the bus because of the doctor's companions.
Probably not, no. But it's a bit like Back to the Future, isn't it? Because they had to manipulate everything so certain aspects of the history actually occurred.
Yes.
But they wouldn't have occurred in exactly the original way.
I enjoyed going back and seeing this one again. The last time I saw it was when we reviewed it. So
yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It was a good episode then for me, and it's a good episode now. It's just like I say, typical Doctor Who is not perfect, but it is a really, really good sort of one of the best of her era.
And by the way, this is the first time I've been able to actually say something about it on the podcast because I missed the last podcast.
Oh, well, you should have told me in advance. I would have given you more time.
I was at one of my silent movies.
Oh, I see. Okay, everyone, here we go. Mary, what do you think of Rosa? Oh, not the person Rosa, the episode Rosa.
There was no sound effect.
Wasn't there? It came here.
Yeah, no, there was. Yeah, I didn't hear any sound effect, so I didn't know.
Well, that's something special for our listeners then.
dead airspace.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was one of those episodes that, it was nice and, it touched on probably a very important subject. And of course the history is all skewed. It didn't happen, the way that it's portrayed in this episode. Yeah. And I did not like the preachiness at the end. But, it was okay. It was a passable episode. I didn't hate it.
No, thank you. That's quite a good recommendation for you.
And you liked it a little better in 2018.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah. Which was brand spanking new to her in 2018.
It's brand spanking new.
Yeah. Right, stuff coming through on the live feed.
They did skew things around because Rosa was not, the sweet little lady. She was well portrayed here in that she was very much in charge of her own person and all that. She wasn't taken advantage of by anyone. But there was a lot more plotting, a lot more scheming, a lot more, waiting for this to happen so that the riots could break out. They were all waiting for this to happen. And none of that came into play. But it didn't have to because it was focused on her.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm okay with it.
Lillian Robbins says, hi. Terry Marr says, that's better. Well, it's my five's done up now. And Lillian Robbins said, what took so long? Oh, right, I can answer that one, Lillian. Teams! How do you think? Why have so many different ways to do a meeting on Teams? Why just have it make it simple like Skype used to be? Yeah. Anyway, right, we can move on.
The weird thing is, Master,
oh dear.
Master,
Yes.
The weird thing is if you look at Teams and the history of our Teams calls, it shows all of our Skype calls.
I know, but that doesn't work because everybody's got new logins, so everybody's got new IDs and stuff.
Not
so
me.
That's the way it goes. I can't help that. I'm sorry, Kirby. Okay, we have some... Kirby, if you can find any potential feedback while I copy and paste some text to send to Mary, because I need to, one, to have a break, and two, get a can of cola, because Debbie cooked me a
Oh, so you're not going to stick around while I actually read the feedback?
No, I'll hear most of it. I just need to get a can of cola.
Well, go grab your can of Coke. Anyway, because first... You just said so.
I said cola.
Cola.
Product placement, not advised by myself.
Anyway, Captain Kirk, not his feedback, is addressing you, sort of. He says, because I posted this originally, 3 weeks ago? He says, also Adam's birthday because his wife gave him a microphone.
What?
Doctor Who does historicals, now so does Adam Pearson. And he has a link to Murder at Golden Hill Fort.
Oh, you've been looking at that. Oh, yeah, I did post that on my own timeline, didn't I? Nobody found that interesting.
I haven't seen.
Thanks for that, Kirby. Thanks for your support. I'm going to get a can of Coke.
I will go and look at that later. Okay, Mr. M has returned. And get your can of Coke. Come on. Mr. M says, I haven't commented on any of the new series yet, so I'll try to be brief. Overall, the series has been very, very solid. There are no episodes I enjoyed as much as the highs of last series. What? He's not watching the same series, obviously. Nor as little as the lows, and my scores all settle around the same level. Robot Revolution, 7 out of 10. Lux, 8 out of 10. The Well, 8.5 out of 10. Lucky Day, 9 out of 10. Story in the Engine, 7.5 out of 10. Interstellar Song Conteat, 8 out of 10.
Everything's falling over today. Carry on. Sorry, I interrupted you, didn't I? It's all right. No,
yes, you did.
I've got a very wobbly table, and everything keeps falling off it. You carry on, Kirby. Sorry.
So, I'm reading Mr. M's.
Oh, carry on. Sorry.
And they says I met Chris Chibnall recently.
Oh, you poor sod. You can get ointment for that, you know.
As part of a work event that was also attended by Adam and the Duns from Staggering Stories.
Oh.
That's interesting. I want to know how's it a work event and it has them. I got some time to talk with Chris privately before the event.
Did he tell me how rubbish he was?
And he was a delightfully lovely man, full of good humor and advice about writing.
Oh, dear.
He had clocked my Doctor Who shirt and as hay of introduction asked, are you by any chance a fan? I responded that I am such a fan that I can utter 2 words that may fill him with dread. Open air. Yes, good for you. Good for you. He took it in good jest. Rosa by Mallory Blackman and that guy I met the other day. Note, this episode is not an Italian version of Rose. Now, let's make one thing clear. This episode is very good television, especially when considering the story it is telling and the way it is told. However, it is not necessarily good Doctor Who. I think this is the first episode where the number of companions really holds the story back. Yes, I agree. And the Doctor in particular feels very diminished by her lack of agency throughout the story. However, the performances and writing is pretty strong all around. I found it quite affecting on first viewing. There are points at which the plot struggles to attach it itself onto the format of Doctor Who, but I do praise the ambition. I guess I'll settle for an 8 out of 10. Oh, it's a good job they named an asteroid after Rosa Parks and not a star. Otherwise, the Robot Revolution would have featured the Miss Rosa Parks bots. Next time, Planet of the Spiders. And I thought there was another. Oh, yeah. I also... Terry Miles says, is it still on? One more comment here. And Lillian Robbins says, "Are you still recording today?"
Oh, geez.
And I also added a little bit of trivia. Morgan Deere, the actor who played one of the old people that Ryan tries to get to wait for the bus, also played Hawk, the CIA agent working with Weissmuller and trying to track down the satellite in Delta and the Bannerman.
Well. And
I put a picture of him in both roles. Yep. And if you listen to him, he says something like, "What do you want, boy?" And he sounds just like Hawk. It was wonderful. But I'm very fond of Delta and the Bannerman, as are you.
Yes. And also, I've seen him with a cup of paninis and a baguette. Right then. Mary, I sent you over some... hang on, shall we do... What have I got on here? No, that's all we've got here. I sent you over some blurb, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this is from Terry Miles. This one is an historical episode. 1955, Montgomery in Alabama. The TARDIS has taken them to the Deep South in 1955. Not the best of places to take a girl of Indian heritage and a chap of Nigerian origin.
No.
Right. I knew about the Rosa Parks story, but Lynn didn't. They say every day is a learning day. This episode made Lynn look up her story and feel for her struggle. Add to the mix a racist alien who wants to disrupt history, and you have a story.
Yes. I forgot about them being racist. Sorry, carry
on. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
that's what he was trying. He was trying to disrupt history because he was racist.
Oh, of course, made no sense. But never mind. Carry on.
No.
So Graham is a, in quotes, bus jacker. I think the Sheffield Bus Company would not be happy to know one of their drivers has had a busman's holiday stealing buses. The look from Rosa, Vignette Robinson, when Yaz said she was a police officer was excellent.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I have to ask, how come the racist idiot knew to call the travel machine a TARDIS as it was made up by Susan Foreman? Fancy letting Call of Duty game player get his hands on an alien weapon. Look what happened last time. Oops, he had been fiddling with the settings and sent the racist way, way into the future. Shame not. A few quotes. Graham. Oi, whoa, what are you doing? That is vandalism. We'll have to pay for that. The doctor. Don't worry, special pen. Graham. No, pack it in. You ain't Banksy. Doctor. Or am I?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good respawn. Yeah. Doctor. Oi, Brando, looking for us? Waitress. We don't serve Negroes. Ryan. Good, because I don't eat them.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good one.
And the waitress. Or Mexicans. Yes. Is she talking to me? Yeah, Ryan, what do you reckon, Mexican lady? Yes, keep that up and I'll use you as a piñata. As for Doctor Who does the Eurovision Song Contest, no comment. Thank God we still have the old stuff. Next up, Arachnids in Sheffield. Linda and Terry Miles.
I take it that...
really. He doesn't have to say anything. Yeah.
Didn't like that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed to, but there you go. Right, what have we got here? We got this.
Good afternoon, 20 Megabytes. It's Andy Vin here, sitting here with a beer. It's Tuesday afternoon. I did a load of ironing this morning to all the wash from Isle of Man trip. God, it took blimmin' ages, but I got to watch Rosa, and I didn't really like this the first time I watched it, but I think I enjoy it more now. I think now it's sort of a, you realise it's not the woke thing that perhaps people think it was. It actually is quite a good historic episode in the fact that it actually does draw on something that's, it's within recent history. But at the time it was made, it was less than 60 years since it had actually happened, and it's something that we can relate to. Although sadly we still do see racial discrimination and hatred, it's certainly a lot less than it was. It's unbelievable to think that there actually was racial segregation. As recently as that in what's supposed to be the most the best country in the world. But hey, that's life, isn't it? However, it's always a bit confusing because you never really understand what Krasko's up to, and he wants to change history, but just to change history for the sake of change history because he's racist himself. It does seem to be a bit odd, really. Why would he want to do that? And he said, did no one get hurt? Well, a few people got killed, and it sort of goes up, and to that 2,000, you do wonder how he managed all that. But he's got this limiter in him, an inhibitor, a bit like Gan in Blake 7, if you remember about that file. And some other people as well. Another one who couldn't wound or kill people. And it would stop him. So he's going to try and change history in a different way by making something happen. It's it's a butterfly effect. You go into the past and tread on the butterfly and change the whole history, and that's all he's trying to do. Butterfly, one tiny thing. But it's certainly quite clever the way he does it. He's tells the bus driver he's on a different shift, then he goes and wrecks the bus, then he tells people the buses are suspended. He's not giving up determinedly, but yet Ryan is able very quickly to send him back because he actually took the weapon with him. We didn't notice that, did you? I think you saw him just throw it away, or we thought him just drop it in the bed in the motel. He actually got it and was able to send this guy back into the past. And of course, you've got the reference to Storm Cage, which was where River Song was imprisoned as well. And where was the one? I know there's spoilers in the future where the Doctor meets Jack. Where were they then? Was that Storm Cage as well? I'm just trying to think back.
It was the Storm Cage.
Spoilers for anyone, of course, that didn't see that episode. But I think it's good the way you actually see the relationship building between the Doctor and the crew, and how the fact that, again, different people take lead at different times. They all have their different skill sets, different things to do. There's Ryan goes and integrates himself with Rosa Parks and gets to meet Martin Luther King. There's Yaz becomes the one who does all the studying. Graham does, a bus driver. I guess there must be some about bus drivers. A bit like postmen, I think, as well, isn't it? They're all the same the world over. So you have to talk to people. I think it's quite good the way he persuaded the guy to give up fishing, James Blake, to stop fishing by basically being so bloody annoying to him, and so was Ryan, that he gave up and went back. But and also the bit about the mobile phone with Elvis and Frank Sinatra and persuading this couple to go away and have a week's break. But the question: where's the Doctor get the money to pay for all this? Does she have an intergalactic credit card or something? Because I do remember John Pertwee had no use for money, and has that question ever been asked? I don't know. It might have been, but he just wondered.
Paper.
Must have cost a pretty penny, and she'll have called in a few favours to pay for all that. But it's good the way it's evolved. You see, normally the Doctor and the crew, they're not part of it. They just observe us. And yet this time, they had to be part of history. And Graham didn't want to do it because, he really objected having to see it. And he was, in a way, making it happen. But he had to make it happen. If it didn't happen, the trade past would have not happened. And that sounds a bit odd, really. But, yeah, he would have changed the future himself by not making it happen. I suppose it just to show that you can't always be an observer. Sometimes you are so deeply involved that if you don't do so, things won't happen. But all in all, I think actually, better story watching a second time round. I think it's interesting again the way the Doctor showed her at the end. What's happened to her. Meeting President again, a Congressional Medal of Honor, and how her reputation grew. Though I did do a bit of digging on Wikipedia. She did struggle a bit. She lost her job after that. But it's it's interesting. It's always going back to what Doctor Who was meant to be, about educating people. I did see the little documentary about it with Chris Stewart. He said yes, he wanted to teach people, and maybe children who won't know go and ask their teachers or their parents, what happened here. But yeah, all in all, I quite enjoyed it, and so yeah, until next time, be seeing you.
Why, thank you, Andy. That was Andy Nunny, everybody.
Yes.
Well, don't sound too excited.
I noticed.
Oh dear, I've clicked on the wrong button. Sorry, bear with me.
Oh no.
No, that's not it. I just wonder if there's anything from Ian Kirk. I'm still going to go back to see if there was anything back in the day.
When I listened to our 2018 version, he didn't send anything then either.
Well, maybe he doesn't like it enough to do audio for it.
Or we are so irregular that he missed it.
I'm regular, thank you very much. Doing my bowel movements have got nothing to do with this blooming podcast. Thank you very much, Kirby. Right then, so we move on to the current series of Doctor Who, currently available on BBC One and rather hijacked by Disney Plus. I think I've never seen it on Disney Plus myself. I can only be told that it's on Disney Plus elsewhere.
Well, yeah. If you have Disney Plus in the UK, you don't see it there because BBC. BBC shows it.
That was the high-end comedy I was trying to allude to there.
Here, that's how we see it, unless we have other ways as well, which I might.
Yes, I know. It was high-end comedy. I thought it might pass you by. Right then, so I think we got up to last time, was it The Well, and Mary hadn't seen Lucky Day? Or was it Lucky Day and Mary hadn't seen The Story in the Engine? Mary, where had you...
Yeah, I think I saw Lucky Day, didn't I?
No, I don't think so.
Is it the Ruby Thunder one?
Oh, no, I didn't see Lucky Day.
Right then, so this is where we can talk about Lucky Day, which I seem to remember was Lucky Day. That was really quite interesting because it was very well done. With they're calling it the Something Trilogy now, aren't they? The character that sort of cons Ruby into falling in love with him turns out to be a nasty.
He was a scum, wasn't he?
Nasty, but he was very, very well done because because the way he is in that first part of the story, you wouldn't believe. And then when he becomes nasty, blimmin' neck does his face change, the acting and whatnot is really, really quite good. I did wonder where. Oh yeah, they said Bonnie Langford was elsewhere, didn't they? How they covered that. I thought that the character of Kate was different. I know that he upset her by disrespecting the brig, but I thought she was a bit sort of, her control was a bit sort of loose in this episode.
Plus, Master, she's apparently seeing that one unit soldier.
Yeah, I got that.
So who culture calls him Captain Sexy.
Yeah, I don't think he might be a bit young for her, but no.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. But as I say, it's definitely a Dr. Light episode. And Deb, I really enjoyed it, and my Deb thought it was really, really fabulous. And I've heard a couple of other people.
Is this the one that is like midnight?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. That's the
next one, isn't it? This is the one that's set in Unit HQ.
I'm so mad because I lost the notes that I took on these episodes.
The well, which was the week before, was the one set on the midnight.
Yeah, and somebody got cross about a cat.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't a cat being shut down the well or something?
Thank you.
Like that. Yeah, Rod, this is a Lucky Day. We're set in Unit. A little bit of a base under siege episode in the end, and Ruby turned out to be quite gullible. But on the whole, we really, really enjoyed it, and it's funny how so many Dr. Light episodes become, legendary. I mean, you can go back and you can think about Blink and some others. Kirby, that was that one with Peter Kay playing the Absorbaloff. That's one of my favourites. I do love the musical backdrop of that one.
Oh,
these
yes.
Dr. Light episodes, and this is one of those, and
it
was actually really good.
that one's one that most people it's a very Marmite episode. Yeah. I love it too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like
there's all of itself. It's a bit silly, but it's a very, very good episode. It's one of those. Why can't they have somebody? And of course, the Zorbaloff itself was created by a Blue Peter view, wasn't it? But this is really, really quite good, and I love Ncuti's his portrayal of the Doctor. Forget his conjunctivitis. That doesn't bother me. He's just an emotional Doctor who happens to be able to have overactive conjunctive thingies.
To do it. I expected him to cry in Yesterday's, and he didn't.
He did cry in it.
No,
yes, he did.
I don't remember.
He did.
All right.
You were obviously so absorbed that you didn't see that everybody was grizzling in that episode towards the end.
I shouted so loud at the end that Fred called me and went.
You must have lost concentration.
Are you okay?
When that lady was singing the song, which reminded me a little bit of the Catherine Jenkins thing. When she was singing that song,
Cora,
everybody, all the cast were grizzling, including the Doctor. But we'll come to that episode in a minute.
That episode allowed him to go like in two really opposite directions, super, super angry and destructive.
Yes. But we haven't got to that.
Which we don't expect from the Doctor, and then the tears, which
we're not
there yet. We're still on Lucky Day at the moment.
Yeah,
I was just gushing about how lovely, how good Lucky Day was. Before we move on to the next couple, we can talk to Mr. Kirby Bartlett Sloan about Lucky Day. Kirby,
I liked Lucky Day. It was. That guy whose name I don't even remember his name, except he's such a scumbag.
The actor that plays one of the trilogy?
No, not the actor, the character. was such a scumbag.
It was horrible, wasn't
it? I didn't understand how he could have seen the TARDIS when he was young. He saw it both materialize and dematerialize, I believe.
Yeah, but we might see that later.
He did not believe that this was real. That didn't make sense.
He was being manipulated. He was trying to brainwash people using the internet into turning against UNIT, because UNIT was protecting everybody, and he wanted to get rid of UNIT so they could, he could manipulate a takeover.
And the other thing it reminds me of is we said from the beginning when UNIT decided to take over Stark Tower that they should not have become a public.
Yeah, they should have stayed.
They should have still been top secret.
Yeah, they should have
stayed.
If
they were still top secret, this would not have happened.
They'll learn from that.
But it was okay. In some ways, of the ones we've had so far, it was my least favorite.
Oh, okay.
Oh my.
Right then. Okay then. So is that you done on Lucky Day, Kirby?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, okay then. Let's see if everybody can hear this. Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Don't hear a thing.
It's probably the Microsoft filter that you don't hear anything like that through the thing. Fortunately, my listeners do. Mary, Blair, what did you think?
Well, I actually liked this one a lot. To me, this was like a return to Doctor Who, as I enjoy it. The threat felt very real. And it was nice to see a companion, at least a former companion, be, plucky and inventive and creative and all that. And, cause that guy
and gullible.
And gullible and all those things, and yet not be, the doctor like Clara was. She was a very person. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like I really did not know how they were going to get out of their situation. So this one had me hooked. So I would say that I liked this one quite a bit.
Excellent, thank you. So we move on to the story and the engine.
Wow.
On IMDb it says, in Lagos, a mysterious figure called the Barber rules, but the Doctor finds stories hold real power as he confronts the spider-weaving vengeful web. Yeah, I mean, this, for me, it was okay. I mean, this is for me the worst of the series so far, only because it was too much going on, and it was sort of, I understand the basics of the story. I think the giant spider sort of reminded me a little bit of the spider, Planet of Spiders in some way.
Or the spider that we're going to see with the Jodie story next week.
Maybe. But it was okay. It was just it didn't. Yeah. I didn't really notice that all the cast were ethnic until somebody said about it afterwards. I just thought a bunch of characters all together stuck in a barber's, and the hair growing thing and all that stuff. But there was some. I'm sure there's another. I don't know if it's a Doctor Who story or a Star Trek story where the baddie wants stories, and if you don't tell them stories, you get done in. But it just reminded me of something I've seen before, sort of, the basics of this particular tale. And of course, the Doctor, being the Doctor, has so many stories that the Doctor would necessarily sort of be able to survive for quite a while. But it was annoying me because I got distracted by trying to remember who I was thinking of. What another thing I've seen, whether it's Doctor Who or not, which was, the baddie needed to be told stories, that I'd actually lost the plot with this one to a certain degree. So although it's okay, it's certainly not my favourite. It is my least favourite of this particular series. What did you think about it then, Kirby?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was now I have to admit I was confused the first time I saw it. I had to see it twice, which is unfortunate. We should not have to do that, but we got a lot of that with some stories another season.
Modern day television, that's what it is.
But it was very, very good. I loved the whole business of the storytelling, and The actors were great. Unfortunately, I forgot we were going to talk about these, and I could have told you several of those people were they've been in Doctor Who several times. In particular, the barber. He was one of the soldiers that shot the pig in the first Raxacorica falcipatorius story.
Okay, fine.
and so it was, and when I showed it, this was finally the story that got Fred hooked back into Doctor Who.
Okay.
She had stopped watching last season. She couldn't keep up with them, and so she basically stopped. I gave her some of the highlights of what was going on, and then she saw me watching it last Saturday, watching Storing the Engine, and she was immediately drawn into it. So I had to restart it, and she watched that one, and then she had to go back, and we spent the rest of the day watching everything except Robot Revolution, which she refuses to watch because of the cat.
All right.
She absolutely will not. I said I can skip over that, and it also had a point in the story, and it was not a real cat, but she doesn't care. But it got her completely caught up to that point. Although I haven't been able to show her Interstellar Song Contest yet. Okay. Although I gave her the first spoiler, which made me cry out in delight, but not the second.
Okay. Right. So we are talking at the moment about the story in the engine, aren't we? Are we not?
Right. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Mary, what did you... No. Reverse.
Master.
Yes.
The little... In case you didn't notice, in the credits of the story in the engine, remember that little girl standing out in the alleyway out and...
Yes.
Belinda sees her. Yeah. That little girl is credited as Poppy. She is one of the babies from Space Babies.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
That means they're gonna somehow bring Space Babies back into things. And also, I love seeing the Fugitive Doctor.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that was brilliant. I really loved
you love seeing what?
The Fugitive Doctor. Your mate, Doctor. Your mate, the Fugitive Doctor, Mary. No, the one you met at the thing. Who's she played by?
Oh, the Fugitive Doctor. Oh, yeah. I met her. Yeah, spent a whole evening, in conversation with her.
You might have done.
She's great.
She is great. I'll tell you what, though. She's got screen presence, that woman. She's usually only in Doctor Who for a few fleeting seconds, but you remember when she's been there. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very curious how they're going to tie things together with her.
Cool. Right then, Mary, what did you think of the
story
and the engine?
She's tied to that Adina character somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This one I think can blow up into a full conversation covering a lot of points. Because this was written, I had to look all this stuff up because I was very confused by this episode. I wasn't sure what to think. So I was looking up things on the internet, about the writer, about, he is a stage writer, a playwright, and his stories pretty much are always like this in terms of dwelling on African themes and the stories that come out of Africa. And while I was watching it, I'm thinking, boy, this is a play. This is striking me like a play. It doesn't seem like a TV episode. It seems like I'm sitting watching a play. Well, sure enough, because it was written by a playwright.
Yes.
So it's written that way. But so many of the themes were just kind of blowing past me because I don't know anything about African, particularly Nigerian history. So I did hate the spider thing. I'm thinking, it's like that monster that they had to throw into the Jodie Whittaker Pakistan story. I mean, why did we need that outside element? The story itself is worth delving into without this whole spider thing.
I agree.
I loved the showing up of the doctor, and I had to look up why she showed up. And that's when I discovered, well, she has some kind of a tie to that Adina woman. But so much of it just leaves open questions. I have so many things I don't know about. By the way, I'm getting a message saying that this meeting will end in 15 minutes. We only get 60 minutes.
How ridiculous. How do I change that?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's what happened to us last time. We got cut off before we were
Well, maybe
done.
we can just hurry up and finish.
Yeah. Oh, be quiet, Kirby.
Hurry up. But anyway, so I'm confused. I'm not sure what was going on. There's something in me that tells me I should respect this story, but for me, it really, I would skip it. I wouldn't probably ever watch it again.
Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. The 15 minutes thing. They want me to upgrade to a different thing,
I think,
so I have to pay more money.
Have to pay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
if you upgrade, I think you
wonderful.
have to pay for
Typical bloody Microsoft. That's all I say on that one.
Well, the thing is that didn't you pay for the upgrade for whatever it was we used to use?
No.
No. I mean, we could be on Skype forever.
Yeah.
No, I mean the person who originated the story, and I remember you actually gave them money a long time ago.
Oh, that was for individual calls. I have to call to a celebrity who hadn't had Skype.
Maybe it was part of that. And
no,
by the way,
it wasn't. No, you
Mary,
just pay for the call. You put a credit in, so you pay for a phone call. That's all it is.
Mary, you might find it interesting that YouTube now carries the what is basically Doctor Who Confidential. I forget what they call it now.
That's right. I saw it posted about a background thing on the most recent one that we saw, the song one, and I was going to watch it, but somehow I never got around to watching it. So thank you for saying that. That confirms what I thought. Oh, is that going to be on YouTube now? Yes,
they're, and you got to look at it different ways because they're showing little snippets of it. Like they might have a 5-minute segment where they interview
this
Carol Ann Ford, but they also will show the entire 30-minute
this one said it was 39 minutes long, so it's like, okay, that's probably the full thing.
Apparently we've got about a minute and a half left before this call ends. So I wonder if we can just do another one.
I find that show is really interesting. Well, I always loved the behind-the-scenes stuff, but they gave some context. And, the author of that became famous from a play called The Barber Shop, which is basically the same setting. And two of the actors in The Barber Shop were in that play. Two of the actors in Doctor Who were in that play as well.
45 seconds left.
What are we going to do?
I'm going to try and recreate or do a new meeting once it runs out to see if it will let me do that. At least then, it'll only, if I wanted to do an edit, of course, it would only require a little edit. I'll tell you what, it's rubbish, isn't it? This Teams thing. What
25,
no wonder.
24, 23, 22.
We don't need, it's not a rocket going off, Kirby. We do not need a countdown.
Yes, it is.
5,
T minus, yeah. It is actually T minus 10 seconds, so it's just going to be quite interesting to see
9,
how much
8.
of an edit I'm going to have to do. Right, so stay online.
Yes.
Because it took me ages to work out how to do this one.
Yes, master.
Oh, hang on, it's still running.
Oh, it's still there.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Oh, I'm a bit confused now. Okay, well, I suppose we better carry on for a bit then. Right then, so the next episode is Wish... No, that's the next one. Sorry. Interstellar Song Contest was the next episode, which is the one that was on last night. And, hang on, my thing's gone.
Well, yesterday morning to me, but...
Last night. Sorry, not my microphone. This was perfect timing if you watch on the BBC because what they did, they put this on and immediately afterwards was the Eurovision Song Contest. And
that was deliberate,
Of course it was deliberate, but it did, obviously. We sat down, we were going to watch Eurovision Song Contest. Oh, you've gone. Right, okay. Right. Oh dear, right, hang on, let's see if we can set up a new... I shouldn't be laughing, but I am. Oh, right, okay. Chat. Right, this is going to be... No, right. Meet now. Kirby. Oh, dear. Don't want to name it. Shut up. Dear, right, meeting name. No! Right, here we go. Start meeting. Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, whatever. Right. I've got a camera now. It's, what's his name? Kirby. There he is. And Mary. Right. Oh. Well, if anybody's watching on the live feed, I'm now... Oh, you're there. So Mary... Are you there as well, Mary?
Your camera's on.
Oh, no, I'll turn it off in a sec. Camera... How do you turn it off? Oh,
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah. Mary!
Okay.
Hey, it worked! I don't know how many hours.
Master,
I think we've got another hour left.
Do you need me to tell you what the last thing was you said?
No, I'll just say it again. I don't think that was too long.
You said you sat down and then.
Well, I was talking about the Eurovision Song Contest, and you said it was deliberate.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
No, but go ahead.
No, I just said anyway. So we were quite excited about Eurovision Song Contest anyway. So So I thought this was going to be a pretty pants, especially as I knew the Rylan. I'm on every program in the universe. Clark was going to be on it, and he's not an actor. he got onto the X Factor as a singer, and he couldn't do that either. What he is though, very good at he's a very good TV presenter.
I've never heard of him before yesterday.
He's because the Graham Norton does the commentary, the British commentary for the song contest. You don't see his face; it's his voice that comes over the thing. Although when it was in Britain, he was one of the presenters, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, so to have them in it was quite good. But anyway, so I thought it was good. It was a good episode. I didn't expect it to be fair. I thought, yeah, okay, they're gathering around for this sort of. The future of the Eurovision Song Contest to become the intergalactic. There's no doubt that there could be, in millions, because people love singing, people love music. Aliens might like it. I don't know. So it's not horrible. It's okay. But I thought it was going to be quite light-hearted at the beginning, but it turned out to be very, very dark. Apart from everybody who goes into space, the vacuum of space survives. But I love the beginning because obviously, again, because it's light-hearted, they arrive and they're trying to get to Earth, aren't they? And actually, what's this quite interesting? I think we'll stay and watch it or whatnot. And you've got Mrs. Flood in the audience keeping an eye on the pod that the Doctor and what's her name, Belinda arrive in. But very quickly it turns dark. Because everybody within that scene, everybody floats up into space, and you're watching it thinking, oh my God, they're all dead. This is thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're all dead.
Yeah, that's really, really, oh my God. Even Deb was going, oh God, those people have gone. And you're supposed to feel like that because it's part of the gravitas of the whole thing. And obviously these baddies come in. You've got the spy in there who's half goat, half human. And the baddie, very, very horrible baddie, was also half goat, half human, who's really got a really weird sort of twisted agenda, but got a very good and interesting way of executing the agenda with a box that can summon a delta wave that can kill everybody through whatever they're listening through or whatnot. But when the Doctor's looking like he's dead in space, and he gets this message from, and when Susan comes on the screen, I don't know, I might have nearly fainted because I sort of like took such a big intake of breath. I said, oh my God, Susan. That was, wow. That really was
and I cried out.
Oh my God.
I went, wow.
And that was really exciting. Of course, the Doctor then comes back. And I love the way he uses a confetti cannon to get back down. I thought that was absolutely very fitting.
Very much... What's the Pixar movie?
Up? No?
What about?
No? Okay, I don't know them. but I liked it anyway. And of course, when the doctor, moving forward a little bit, when the doctor realises how twisted the whole thing is, I also love the fact that the doctor doesn't know Belinda's not dead, and Belinda doesn't know the doctor's not dead, and that aspect of the story is really, really good. But where he thinks Belinda's dead, and that, along with the whole, killing thousands of people, millions of people, the idea of that triggers an evil, horrible doctor, which I love. We don't see him very often. I know Tennant did it particularly well in the Arachnos story, didn't he? But we don't see angry Doctor, because he is evil when he's angry. Oh my God, didn't Ncuti play that well? God, I was actually scared of him watching him in those scenes. Brilliant, and it was such a lot of energy around the emotional side of the story as well. And and then of course he's tasering us, but I'm going to call it tasering, even though it wasn't. But he was inflicting pain on the goat for quite a long time. And then Belinda sort of turns up, and he realises, it sort of brings him back to himself a little bit. But Deb said something like, "Oh, you don't want to get the doctor angry," because they were thinking about what he has done to characters in the past when they've really upset him, like in the Family of Blood, was it? The one where he has to take the chameleon arch and goes back to a pre-war school. Remember that one? And what they called it?
Yes.
Family of. Anyway,
Family of Blood. Yes.
Family of Blood. Yeah. So he banishes them in all sorts of horrible ways, doesn't he? And he does something horrible to one of the Slovene in one way. So he has ways when you really upset him of inflicting some really sort of mean sort of. He does give them a chance sometimes, but mean stuff. And that was really exciting.
I thought it was great to have him get angry.
Yeah,
we had not seen him really angry.
He was.
He got a little bit the week before, but 2 weeks before.
She was fuming, and it was brilliant. And characters quite good. Of course, then we see more of the Susan thing, and when she says, "Find me, grandfather." When she said grandfather, oh my God, that got me.
Yeah.
In fact, she said, "Find me, grandfather." Oh God. Anyway, so. That was really exciting. There was more of a fanboy excitement than a storyline excitement. The story was good enough. Yeah. I think it probably could carry itself quite well without the
it's like I mentioned someplace. This is RT, even though it wasn't written by RTD. It was RTD put that in there. He told the author
it was
to
brilliantly
add that,
done.
And it's all fan wank for us.
Oh yeah, of course. A little bit of that sort of what you just called it is okay if it doesn't really impact much on the story. It just added a bit of extra excitement for the fans. Anybody who wasn't a fan would have hopefully still found aspects of the story really, really exciting.
He's mentioned her. This doctor's mentioned her several times. Remember in the one episode where
the Beatles one.
He's right over there on the other side of London.
Yeah, that was in the Beatles episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a cracking episode too, really, looking back. Even though the Beatles didn't look like the Beatles. But the people who've been cast as the Beatles and the Beatles film don't look anything like the Beatles. Moving back to Doctor Who.
Yes.
And where did we get up to? And then, of course, Mrs. Flood comes in and bi-generates, which was a bit of a shame. I didn't like the fact that she had to bi-generate as well, but I suppose they brought it into the story and they had to have it happen again. And at last, a predicted outcome for a character that we all thought might be the Rani. So that was quite nice. So I was quite pleased. And I had to explain what the Rani was to Deb, who enjoyed the story, but there were so many aspects of this. So I had to explain who Susan was properly, because she has never really watched early Doctor Who, and I had to explain who the Rani was. But all in all, it's a really, really exciting, engaging episode that I wouldn't have expected. That was also a tribute to the Eurovision Song Contest. And Ryland Clark did really well in the episode. I thought he was fine. I wouldn't have had him down as anybody that could carry off playing himself in an acting role within a production like that. So little round of applause for Riley.
And then Graham Norton was also.
He was good as well,
himself.
Yeah. But he's Graham Norton. He's a legend. So and he's also a massive Doctor Who fan. He presented.
He wasn't asked to do very much.
No, when I did the Doctor Who festival, when Tom Baker was there, the first one we went to on the anniversary one, where I met Peter Capaldi. Graham Norton was doing. He had a little corner in the hall where he was interviewing people. So he was there, and I've got a photograph of him interviewing Tom Baker. So he's a big Doctor Who fan. Anyway, I'm not going to stop gushing about it. I absolutely loved it. What did you think about it then, Kirby?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. Basically, it's my favorite one of this. And I went into it not expecting much. I don't know much about Eurovision. I'm not a big fan of song contests. And so I wasn't really expecting anything. And then I just absolutely loved it. And then, of course, having having Susan pop up. And I'm sorry, I loved the bi-generation of the Ronnie. I loved having the Ronnie back finally. And I don't know, go back and watch it. Mrs. Flood goes from being very manipulative after she bi-generates. She becomes very subservient to the Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be very interesting since she's going to exist in the same time apparently, because they've already said she's going to be in every single episode this season, so she's going to survive somehow. So that relationship is going to be very interesting.
But remember, though,
I don't know.
The 14th Doctor is still at large. I've got the funny feeling that's going to have something to do with it. And we've also got Mavity as well. That's still being used, and I think Mavity is the key to the whole thing. Yeah, that's the key to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Mavity thing as well. But that brings up a theory that some people have, in that somehow this is some sort of alternate universe. And when they start using the word gravity again, we'll note he's out of it.
Yes, that makes sense.
But other things that I just loved was, I haven't completely looked this one up yet, but that first singer, the one with all the spots over her face and everything, looked very much like a alien species from the Daleks' master plan.
Right.
Which, they weren't prominent there, but I remember they were very distinctive in the Daleks' master plan. So, I'm looking forward to when people start putting out the Easter eggs, and Who Culture will put out a video about Easter eggs in the next couple of days, and I'm sure that's going to be part of it. And it was just so thoroughly enjoyable. I've watched it twice now, and as soon as Fred wakes up, she's been asleep all day, and feels like watching. I'm gonna watch it yet again, and it was great.
No. Well, thank you. I thought you were going to.
And here, let me do that. Let me do this.
What?
Bum bum bum.
No, I'm not going to bother with that. No, I might. No, I might. No. Lillian Robbins says the movie Kirby is thinking of is Wall-E. Pixar movie. You were thinking of?
Yeah. Wall-E uses something to propel himself through space to get to Eva.
Yeah, well, there you go then.
Yes, a very, very similar way. Unfortunately, I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so for the benefit of the listeners, I'm going to play this. And
sure.
It's Mary.
Prove it.
Dead Space again.
Hey? Yeah, no, just have to imagine it happened. It did happen.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah.
I like Kirby's version better. Well, didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was like a big marshmallow. It was just like a big piece of fluff. To me, this belongs back as part of the first season, because those episodes were basically, marshmallows too. I think RTD is just having fun. I don't think that there wasn't anything about this that I think I can actually criticize, except the Doctor getting extremely, extremely angry like he did. I mean, it was gratifying to see, but then I realized, wait a minute, I have seen other Doctors. In fact, these days I'm listening to a series of Fourth Doctor adventures from Big Finish. And so well written. This one series of them is so well written, where Tom Baker is just basically, he's like laughing and making jokes, but taking serious, painful revenge on enemies. And I almost like that better, that sense of, I'm going to be above this emotionally, but you are really going to suffer as a result of what I'm doing to you. So when the doctor gets really, really angry like this, to me, it just, but it is the shooty doctor. He cries, so if he cries, then he probably has room at the other end of the spectrum to be really, really, really angry and to show that too. So, it's not something that would turn me off of it. It's just, it's not the way that I enjoy the doctor responding to evil. I like the doctor laughing at evil while taking his revenge. So other than that, I mean, it just was fluff. It was just fun, so it's one that I'll probably forget fairly quickly. So that's my feelings about it.
I can answer, your mention about the Tom Baker doctor's way of dealing with things pre-Time War. You see, the post-Time War doctors are damaged, so that's why they react in a more extreme way. But when you said about the Tom Baker doctor, I always think of the Pirate Planet. When he says, "What's it for?" Yeah. That scene's amazing. It's not quite Shooty getting angry, but that was my favourite Fourth Doctor getting angry scene. But all the doctors since the Time War have shown this sort of damaged, almost like a post-traumatic stress sort of reaction to, and the doctor did explain it, didn't he? Because he said, I got angry because of I saw my own people die in a similar way all at once. So, the
Ninth Doctor was the first one to really show that dark side. Yeah.
So it's all good. The story itself was surprising, which I quite liked. I like being surprised by Doctor Who, because again, expecting it to be a bit silly. There were silly aspects. I did like the two gay characters the Doctor befriended. I thought they were really good fun. I thought it was just very, very well done.
And in that regard, I think that RTD kind of saved himself, because most of his trans characters, be they gay or outright trans, have all been so silly up until this point. But these two had serious abilities that were very helpful. So I think that helped the situation.
I like the fact that they were very clever. And they immediately became fans of the Doctor, and then the Doctor immediately became fans of them, and I thought that was a really lovely dynamic.
Yes.
But anyway, well done.
I had some issues with the fact that they could bring everyone back and unfreeze them so quickly, but guess what? It's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
That's what I'm thinking too. This is just a big marshmallow, so
I did say to Deb, because if they said that Rylan at the beginning had been cryogenically frozen, I felt that if he's out in space, that's not cryogenic freezing, that's speed freezing. It's a
little different.
Well, it was explained because it was a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Yes.
It was the Mavity field that saved
them.
And I did love the continuation of Mavity.
Right, so that's we're up to date now, which is really good. I mean, the problem.
The alien that I was thinking of was actually from Mission to the Unknown, which was the prequel to Balak's Master Plan. But there's a character named Malfa who looks very much like that one singer with the bubble skirt.
Okay. I'm just trying to type something in. Well, I thought you were going to go on for longer, but you didn't. There you go.
Sorry.
Where did I get up to? I've sort of moved off from my plot a little bit here. Doctor. Oh yeah. So next two episodes. There's Wish World coming up next weekend. The problem that I've got is that Doctor Who's on at the cinema, and I'm finally going to get a chance to experience the finale at the cinema, and that episode, along with I believe it's called The Reality War, are on at the cinema as a sort of package, and I think
you're seeing them at the same time.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should not watch Doctor Who for a couple of weeks. I know it's going to be difficult with all the stuff that goes out But that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Watching it at the cinema.
Yes. I love seeing Doctor Who in the theater.
So that's, and there's all sorts of conflicting stuff coming through. We've had, they're going to announce the new Doctor before the end of the series, and today, Ncuti's doing a series 3, but there's going to be a break. So I wish the BBC would come out and sort of let us know what the actual truth was. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
I think that we're going to have a false regeneration again.
A false route. So at the end of it, he's going to be, and that will just stop it like they did in the. And
then he's going to come back, or so. I don't think he's leaving, but I'm not going to speculate.
I think he's going to be asked to do too much in Hollywood because he's already sort of semi-Hollywoody, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, I hope he's not leaving yet because I think they should. They said he signed up for 2 series. I thought it was 3. There's all these conflicting things going on which are. Irritating.
And a lot of people want him to leave.
Oh well, that's
because
they
just don't like him.
They can't move forward. That's the trouble.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the Doctor Who news page. I don't know what we've bloody well done and what we haven't. There's a thing about Freddie Fox joining Doctor Who. Of course, we've seen him today. Show.
Back with Interstellar Song Contest.
Right. Yes.
That was the one thing I did not like. I thought that his character, Freddie Fox's character, was not very villainous. I mean, yeah, he was doing something which would have been very bad, but he did not seem to me to be the sort of character that would.
I just got that he was mad. Mad people don't think they're being villainous, do they? They just carry on themselves and do mad things. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that we haven't.
Mary.
Yes.
When you watch the behind the scenes video, I don't remember what it's called. If you decide to watch it for the Interstellar Song Contest, they interview both Ryland, who again I've never heard of, and Graham Norton. So that's very interesting to Graham Norton talking about his couple of times where he inadvertently caused issues with Doctor Who, like in the very first broadcast of Eccleston. But you might want to go and watch those because it's very interesting.
Okay.
So you've heard of Graham Norton then?
Of course. My first pirated copy of Rose had the Graham Norton interruption in it.
Oh, I forgot about the Graham Norton interruption.
We did not get Doctor Who here for months after the first Eccleston.
Okay.
So I had to watch it somehow.
Yeah, but the Graham Norton's the sort of he interviews all the top celebrities on BBC.
Yeah.
So if you have a look on YouTube, they're probably on there. But there's some of the greatest interviews, the funniest.
Yes.
He really gets well-known A-listers relaxing and doing really good funny stuff. Particularly good with Miriam Margolyes for some reason, but look it up. He's on YouTube.
No, I already subscribed to him.
I'm talking to our listeners, Kirby. If we've got any.
Okay.
Anyway, right. So I'm pretty sure we didn't pay tribute to Simon Fisher Becker since his passing in March. And of course, we can generally call him a friend of the show because he's been on. He's also a friend of the convention, and genuinely a really, really lovely man, and as is his husband. So I did convey some personal, condolences to his husband, and it's really, really sad that we've lost Simon. No one had a bad word to say about him. And he stayed in Roy's shed Roy's love shack, as I called it, was his chalet in his garden when he came to the fantasy con. Anyway, so we had it said about Slow Horses star Kadif Kerwin, who obviously was in the episode we've just seen. New titles are revealed. We know what they are now. Reality Wars done by Russell T Davies. Well, that's interesting. Charlie Condu, who played one of the gay characters, or the gay couple, all these people that we already know about. It's a bit annoying. Doctor Who Magazine 615, featuring Ncuti on the cover with the beautiful actress that plays Belinda. I'm hoping it's going to load up some new stuff. Oh, here we are. What else we got here? We've got some. Oh yeah, Jean Marsh. Certainly haven't mentioned the passing of legend that is Jean Marsh, who was also the ex-wife of John Pertwee, who played a couple of very good characters in Doctor Who in her time. 3, in fact. She was with what's his name, Julian Glover, in the 60s, in one of the Hartnell stories. Forget the title. She was also in the Dalek Invasion of Earth, which you mentioned, Kirby. She was in that,
yes.
And then she was in Battlefield and Icon. Sad that she's gone. And what else we got here? We've got Black Archive of Logopolis, something about that, and we've got some screenshots from the beautiful Lux, memorable episode, never to be forgotten. And then we got about the season finale getting a cinema release, which I know because I've booked tickets for it. And I don't know. I think it's.
I don't think they're doing that here, unfortunately.
Doctor Who Unleashed marks 20 years of revival. Haven't seen any of the Unleashed before. And then there's always a twist.
Okay, that's what it's called. Doctor Who Unleashed. Okay.
Yeah. And then just. Says beware of spoilers about the here. There's a twist in the end, i.e. the bi-generation of the Rani, and so that's really it for Doctor Who news. So nothing confirmed regarding what's happening at the end of this series, and hopefully it'll just be a bog standard, everybody lives and end of the series, and we'll see it. We'll see you later.
Well, I do have a theory, but you remember Belinda is still kind of a
mystery
question mark.
Yes.
How does she know what a TARDIS was? She knew what a TARDIS was before he told her what a TARDIS was, and from some other things going on, I think I know who she is. But I don't know. I don't really know this.
If it's a theory, Kirby, you are allowed to say. If it's a spoiler, you are not.
No, so I do not know. It's not a spoiler, but my theory is that she's Susan.
Well, a regeneration of Susan.
Yes.
But if she were, she a Susan that's had her mind wiped because she can't remember her grandfather?
Maybe she's got a certain watch sitting around.
Well, you never know. That could be it.
Or she's being very cagey or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't figure out when this Doctor Who Unleashed 20 years is going to play. It doesn't say in that article.
Oh. Anyway, so Mavity. It was, I'm pretty sure it was the Children Need Special episode with David Tennant. And did he have Donna with him at that point?
Yeah, I think it was Donna. Yeah.
And they were just going backwards and forwards and did a quick scene with what's his name that discovered the apple falling on someone's head. What's his name? Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a Children in Need. I think that was in an actual episode.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever happened, he was with there was a quick scene where he stumbled across the event where gravity was sort of worked out, and he just said to call it Mavity, didn't he, just for a laugh?
Okay, yeah, it was in Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah, and so if the people have the theory that an alternative timeline was created from that. That means everything before that happened and everything after it didn't. Yes. That's one way that because the last episode's called The Reality War, isn't it? So it's possible that everything we've seen is not reality.
Master?
Yes.
If I may remind you, when they ran across Isaac Newton, his maid was Susan Twist.
I didn't remember that bit.
Yep.
No, really? Wow.
Yes.
Oh. Do you think Susan Twist could be? Hang on, could you think Susan Twist could be a regeneration of Susan?
No.
No. Okay.
That was already dealt with back when we were misled thinking that Susan Twist was going to be Susan when it was Sue Tech.
Okay. Okay. But Susan Twist, I heard, is actually going to be in this series. Or
maybe so.
Yeah. Because
I thought she was destroyed by Sutek.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Joe Martin. Oh, she might be coming to do a cameo appearance when they do the recap. But there'll be a point in which there's a recap of things we hadn't actually seen or we didn't notice in the previous, what was it, 17 episodes when we get to the last one.
Yes.
15 episodes. Sorry, my math is terrible. So you never know. She might be coming back to do a quick scene like that. We might even see. I've heard David Tennant's been on set to do something, so maybe he's doing something as well to do a scene to fill in gaps. Because no doubt that
they sure kept Carol Ann Ford's appearance a secret.
They probably have a look in this lovely room. We made it look like the TARDIS, Carol Ann. Right, shut the doors. Right, quickly do the scene. That's probably how they did that. Closed set and all that. They probably said, "Well,
there's a nice scene in yesterday's Doctor Who Unleashed." Now I remember the name of the show where Ryland is.
It's Rylan. Kirby hasn't got a D.
Yeah. I thought it was Rylan.
No, it hasn't got a D on the end. It's Rylan.
Fine, whatever.
I love correcting you on stuff like this.
Anyway, I'll ignore you. Anyway, they since he was there in the studio, they took him over and let him wander into the TARDIS set, and he was suitably impressed. And they put on the show.
Did any of you see? I might be on my TikTok page. I posted a picture of a drag artist, local drag artist called Quivers, who was also at Fantasy Con. There's a video of Quivers with wrestlers and stuff like that. Now Quivers at the gig we saw a couple of weeks ago was wearing a frock which I thought looked very much like Tegan's outfit in the Resurrection of the Daleks, I believe, and I know that Quivers is a Doctor Who fan because Quivers attended FantasyCon in a TARDIS frock. So I went up to Quivers before they started performing and showed the picture of Tegan in Resurrection of the Daleks outfit, and he went, "Oh, Tegan!" But he didn't confirm or deny.
So he knew right off.
Didn't confirm or deny.
Yeah, I do follow Quivers on social media, but I didn't make an association with that.
The also thing that Quivers is also playing Frank Spencer in a stage production of Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, which is one of the best British comedy series ever, featuring an actor called Michael Crawford, and they're producing it.
Would that be the Michael Crawford of Phantom?
What? Yeah, Phantom of the Opera, Michael Crawford.
Yeah, okay.
Frank Spencer, Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. Best comedy ever. Look it up on YouTube. But the writer who wrote all the Frank Spencer stories in the 70s, it lives on the Isle of Wight. So I've got a funny feeling. I know he attended one of the things we saw at Shanklin Theatre. One of the comedians there said, "Oh, I can't believe we're in the presence of greatness." A la the writer that wrote it was sat in the front row. Got a funny feeling because at theatres you always have to leave a couple of seats available for the writers, and I've got a funny feeling where he lives on the island, he's going to attend one of the performances at Shanklin Theatre, and Quivers will be playing Frank Spencer. So it'll be great. He's a very multi-talented performer,
yes,
comedian, singer, DJ. He can do it all. It's very very frustrating that people are that talented, but he's very, very popular. He's a full-time professional because he's always totally and utterly booked up, which is fair. But anyway, I'm rambling a little bit here, which is meaning, of course, that the end of the show is approaching.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I don't know. I can't even remember.
Yes.
It's been so long. Mainly rubbishy reality programs. I'll tell you what I've been watching. Something featuring David Tennant. Something called The Genius Game. David Tennant.
Oh yeah, I heard that isn't doing very well.
It's a bit not very. It's okay. They're trying to copy Traitors, and it's not the Traitors. I think they're trying to generate the same sort of people sort of being suspicious of each other. That traitors are in that game. They obviously are. It's a different thing altogether, but it's got some effort. It's watchable, but it's not the traitors. ITV's always try and do this when the BBC have something that's a big hit. They try and find something that'll be similar to it. Isn't it? It's like when Big Brother was first on, they were all trying to do reality shows that were similar to Big Brother, and still are, to be fair. But and same with Doctor Who. When it was successful, ITV tried to come up with that prehistoric program to try and to match it. But I can't remember what I was talking about now.
You used to gush over that show too.
Which one?
The one the prehistoric show.
It was the first couple of series were really good, but then they became really repetitive. And I did meet the lead actor and the lead actress as well at the same Island Con 1. They were there at that. But other than that, it was okay. I can't remember what it was called now. Pre something.
You used to gush on it.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
I'm trying to think what I have been. I watched a few decent films. Did I talk about the one with Tom Hanks on Prime? Did I talk about that one? I think it's called Home.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that Home is available someplace where I can see it, because I found it to be a curious idea. It's a Robert Zemeckis film, it's the camera is absolutely stationary. Yeah.
Well, they do move it a little bit. But it is stationary for the whole thing. It's obviously wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Really fascinating. How did you like it?
I loved it. Isabella hated it, but I loved it because I always like the idea of what a house has seen in its lifetime. But they go back so far in history, but they keep the camera on the same sort, which adds to the fascination of the whole setup. It's very moving. What I love about it, there was an actor in it that. I can't recognise that actor. And it was David, what's his name? We had him at FantasyCon 1. David, God, annoying. I'm so bad with names these days. Anyway, Isabella sat with him at FantasyCon 1 and he'd done a few bits and bobs, but to see him in a movie with Tom Hanks, even though he's not in a scene with Tom Hanks, was quite nice. I knew he'd go places. He's quite a good chap, quite a nice chap, but... so he's in it, and a load of other sort of well-known British faces. So it was obviously may have been shot in Britain, but it's very good. I liked it. It's like I say, it's almost like time travelling on the same spot. If you like that sort of thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's good. I can't remember what else we've watched really. We're planning to go see the new Marvel film this week, which is currently at cinema. We did go to see a film in the cinema not so long ago. Isn't it awful? Maybe I should look it up. Tell me what you've been watching then, Kirby, as you wanted to mention it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I just looked up the movie. It's called Here, not Home.
Oh, Here. That's it. Well done.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. I'm going, what?
Thank you.
Things I've been watching. I finally was able to sit down with the Geek Daughter and start watching Andor.
Oh, God.
So
that doesn't appeal to me.
What?
It doesn't appeal to me. Sorry, carry on.
Did you watch the first
No.
season? Oh, Andor is great. Andor is absolutely great. But there's no Jedi or anything in it.
Okay.
But it's showing how people up to the events in A New Hope,
Right.
how they lived and how the rebellion was created. And the thing about Andor season 2 is it's 12 episodes in groups of 3, and each group of 3, the first 3 episodes, which are the only ones I've seen so far, and then we'll probably watch each week. She doesn't have a lot of time to get with me to watch stuff. The first one is set 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, and then the next 3 is 3 years before the Battle of Yavin, etc. So, and what's the name of the movie? Rogue One. Rogue One is the conclusion of Andor's story, because he dies on that planet, and then they manage to get the plans to the Death Star and it goes right into episode 4, which is so. Anyway, things I've Andor. So I'm starting to watch Andor. What else? Batman 66. Continuing with that. Just watched the first of the Otto Preminger Mr. Freeze stories. He's just chewing the scenery. Yeah. Absolutely hilarious. What else have I been watching? Just after Dr. Phil, our Dr. Phil, who we haven't heard from in ages, posted last week that he had tripped and slightly injured himself leaving a performance of Beethoven's Ninth in Rockford, Illinois. He mentioned where he was, the theater that they performed in, and that theater, I recognized it because I saw in 1981, the week it was released, I saw Heavy Metal there, the animated movie.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that movie, Heavy Metal. Anyway, so I decided to go out and buy the 4K Ultra HD copy of it and started watching it last night. So watching that. I'm trying to get a lot of 4K Ultra HD copies of some of my all-time favorite movies. So that's pretty much it for now.
Sorry, the dog is stuck. Oh, come on. Come on, your mum wants you. Come on.
Well, sorry. Unstick the dog.
It's not moving. Come on. Fool. Oh, I'll do the window in a minute. Yes, so, is that it, Kirby? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I remember the Genealogy Roadshow. I've just started watching on YouTube. It's America. It's a PBS program, which is really, really quite cool. Quite like that. Stumbled across it accidentally because Who Do You Think You Are has started up on BBC and a new series. One of my favourite.
I don't know. Who do you think you are?
On the subject of what Ian Kirk was alluding to, I've produced a small film based on some of the research I've done on Deb's family, which of course is my children's family, about a chap called Michael Carroll who was shot dead at Golden Hill Fort on the Isle of Wight in 1918, about his story, his relationship with my wife's great-grandmother, and what happened before and after the shooting that he was part of Golden Hill Fort. So the whole story, and that's what the film that I've created is about. It's only 9 minutes long, so I think it's a fascinating story myself. So I posted the link of it on my own timeline, so I suppose I'll have to post it now on the 20 megabyte timeline.
Master?
Yes?
There's an actor in the movie here named David Finn. Is that who you were talking
David
about?
Finn. He was at FancyCon.
Okay.
A personal friend of Isabella. Yeah. So I'm going to hand over to Mary while I find the link to the murder at Golden Hill Fort video, what I've done.
Well, I'm not a great one to hand it over to because mostly what I've been watching has been basketball and baseball.
I've been watching a lot of football, Mary, so I'm right with you there because it's all exciting stuff. Is that it?
Yeah, not a lot of stuff for you to relate to.
I like basketball.
My basketball team, which was number one all year long, the Cleveland Cavaliers, lost out in the playoffs. So I've lost interest there, not watching any more basketball. Right. But baseball, I'm still watching the Cleveland Guardians and watching the Chicago Cubs. Yeah. And, they're both, pretty good teams. So I watch their games. In fact, there's 2 of them going on right now that I should be watching, but I'm not.
Are we holding you up?
I'm on here with you.
I'm so sorry. It's Kirby's fault.
They'll play whether I'm talking to you or not. And because I took
it's just a game. You just all you have to do is see what the score was at the end, and it's somebody beat someone else or they had a tie.
Well, that'll be typical of you. Why you probably don't like sports. There's no spoilers with sports.
And I picked up in my interest in sewing that I haven't done for a long time, and got myself a new machine as I've been doing a lot of sewing. And while I'm sewing, I'm watching baseball and listening to a lot of podcasts, and I've been listening to Big Finish stories, so I don't spend a lot of time watching movies or TV shows. I should probably quit some of my streaming services since I don't really watch them much.
Well, we've downgraded to streaming services that have adverts now, so you get paid less if you have adverts.
Right, yeah, that's a good idea. I know with Prime Video, I'm down to advertisements on that, and sometimes they go on and on, but then I'm happy because I'm doing something else, so it doesn't matter. So I'm not watching much.
I know we got downgraded to the advertising one as well, but I don't watch it enough to where it bothers me. The only things I keep is no ads or Disney Plus and Max, because we get our, and soon to become HBO Max. Because that's free with our internet connection.
Okay.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, good for you. Well, we get Peacock free, but only the downgraded version, where it's advertisements all the time. If you want the real Peacock, you have to pay for it. So it's like, okay, forget that. I don't care. Yeah. We do Disney Plus, but that's mostly because my daughter, and her two children, they watch a lot of Disney things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not been watching much in the way of movies or TV things.
We've been watching plenty though, Mary, but it's just I didn't expect to be talking about it, so it's rather put me on the spot. Now the kids have all left home, me and Deb can watch what we like, and we watch quite a lot of stuff together, and that's about it really.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's other stuff I've forgotten.
Yeah, so mostly I have ear things in, and I'm listening to podcasts or what do you call it? Big Finish stories, because I'm sitting in the sewing room doing stuff. So that's me.
Okay, well, I'll remember some stuff for later.
Yes.
Oh dear, what have I done?
Yeah. Now that I'm old. Now that I have hearing aids,
join the club.
Now that I have hearing aids, I love the fact that they are Bluetooth connected, so I can listen to my phone.
Yeah,
I have them too. So I
listen to the radio and audiobooks.
Yeah, and the thing too is I also have a set of I think they're earbuds. For some reason, my main computer and my TV do not work through my hearing aids. So, but these earbuds do, so I can hear what's going on. I just switch them out and put the earbuds in when I can't use the hearing aids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose let's have a look at the diary to see where we are.
That's the old person's
next week is
there.
going to be only going to be tricky because of the fact that I can't watch Doctor Who if I'm going to the cinema to watch it on the 31st. And on the 1st of June, I'm going to Shanklin Theatre to see
Wait, what
Craig.
about the 25th?
I just said that, the next week, isn't it, the 25th?
Okay.
So I can't watch Doctor Who on the 24th because we're watching it in the cinema.
Why don't we talk about the arachnid story, or no?
People are bound to send feedback in about the new episode of Doctor Who, and then I might get spoiled.
Oh, so we are going to postpone
over there.
We are going to postpone the arachnid one.
Well, the other problem is, Kirby, that I'll be in Southampton as well because Saints' last home game is on that day, and it kicks off at 4 p.m. It's unlikely to finish until about 6, and then it's getting from Southampton back to the Isle of Wight for 7, which is, unless I get a helicopter, is pretty impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do. The following week, me and Deb are going to see Craig Revel Horwood at Shanklin Theatre, meet him and stuff. The following week after that, I don't know if it has any impact on whether the podcast is going to be on or not. It's Isabella's 19th birthday. I nearly got her age wrong there.
No.
Her 19th birthday. And the week after that is Father's Day, but none of my kids care about me enough to be bothered about, so we're probably all right for the 15th. And the week after that is Alicia's. We probably won't do much about that. But I'm supposed to be in London. No, it's the Isle of Wight Festival. Sorry, beg your pardon. The 22nd is the Isle of Wight Festival and Alicia's birthday, but as I say, we'll be at the Isle of Wight Festival. And I'm hoping the day before that we can actually manipulate our way up to Valile Shabalala's wedding. and we've finally decided on a format for that. That's making it into a day trip. So Valina herself is the worst person ever for responding to messages. So when you ask her a question, you have to wait 4 weeks to get an answer. So you have to time questions about things like, what's the parking like around your church venue for your wedding, a month before. Unfortunately,
wow.
I asked her today, what's the parking like around your evening do location? I'm likely to get that answer at the wedding. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how we go with that one.
So basically, we will talk about arachnids in the UK on the 15th.
Oh, God, you've put me on the spot here. Let's have a look. Arachnids in the UK, 15th. Yeah, that's a possibility.
That and all the rest of this current season.
Yeah.
On the 15th.
Well, I can't watch it and talk about it at the same time, Kirby. Well, I could do, but I'm not going to because obviously... So we're just it's just got stuff going on.
I can let our viewers, listeners, know that we will not be doing anything for several weeks.
Well, just explain why. Obviously, next week football. Week after that theatre. Week after that, it's up to Isabella what she does. It's her birthday, but I've got a funny feeling it's a possibility because if she has that. She'll be working anyway, unless she's got the day off. I don't know. I'm not sure about the 8th of June. That we could be doing it on the 8th of June, but 15th is there's more.
When will you be? When will you know? Can you?
When I've been briefed on what she wants to do.
Okay. Well, you let me know, and I will.
I nearly forgot, Kirby. Alexa, front room light on. Oh God, I nearly forgot. How could I nearly forget? My birthday. Hang on, I'm just going to draw the curtains because all sorts of neighbours twitch their curtains, look into my house while I'm podcasting. Right, okay, we're talking about, where's it? It's over here. Right, so, if anybody's a friend with me on the Book of Face, they may know that I did post a thing when my birthday's approaching, and when you get to my age, Kirby, you're not sort of that fussed about birthdays, because it just adds
I know, me too.
Although I'm not saying I don't like getting a little bit of attention on it, but apart from Deb's the one that always gives me the attention. Anyway, so the kids never done anything apart from Deb will give them a card, say, sign this for your dad, and buy a present on their behalf. So,
yes,
that's very typical. Yep.
To cut a long story short, in regards to my mum's inheritance money was given to the kids, and they got a decent amount of money for young people. Alicia will spend it. Isabella will invest it. But anyway, so she said, what do you want for your birthday? I have to think about it. Anyway, so when I was on my break at work, I made a list of ideas ranging from something that's really, really cheap, like a bar of chocolate, to something slightly more expensive, because I didn't know how much she wanted to spend. I said, these are the things, or the sort of things I like. Anyway, she had the list, and she virtually bought everything that was on the list. And one of the things she bought, you'll have to go on the Facebook live feed thingy to see it, because I'm holding it up as we speak, and there's a bit of a delay. It is. Can you see it, Kirby? It's really.
I'm not on the feed. Sorry.
It's a slow feed. Did you say?
No, I'm not on the feed. I was just checking to see if you had the feed going.
I'm currently showing it. In fact, what I'm going to do is press the button that's on this thing here. There's another button on the thing here. Oh.
Can't hear anything. Sorry.
You can't hear anything?
Nope.
I hear a little squeaky voice.
Yeah, there's something.
Well, the viewers can see and appreciate this wonderment that
well, take a picture and post it on Facebook too.
Well, if anyone watches the video, they can see it. But it's lovely.
Fine.
It's Star Trek Universe, NCC 1701, USS Enterprise, from the original series, with a little sound effect doodah at the top.
Awesome.
I feel I'm going to have to take it out of its box at some point, but it's so exciting, isn't it? Look at it. No, you can't see it. Okay,
awesome. I'll look at it later.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I got. That's.
I forgot something else that I saw, by the way, in the theater yesterday.
Yeah.
Saw a live performance of the Metropolitan Opera of Salome. which was a really
Ooh,
creepy,
nice.
really creepy version, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really, really creepy. And Salome's kind of creepy anyway.
Yeah, the pictures that have been the pictures that have been posted of it look very strange.
Yeah, I mean, it was this. Richard Strauss based it on a play by Oscar Wilde, so you know where that's coming from. But it was excellent, except for the fact that most of the performance there was this weird warbling rattle from the feed, which is, at least we were able to see it, because the last time we tried to go see Metropolitan Opera in the theater was about 3 weeks ago. We were supposed to see Mozart's Marriage of Figaro, and that failed completely.
Huh.
So we got a refund for that, and then I complained about the sound this week, and I got a refund.
Well, good for you.
So,
what can you say?
So that's where we are with that. That's Barber of Seville is coming up, though, on the 31st.
For the benefit of the viewers, I got this also from Isabella, which is a bottle of no, that's from my in-laws, Harvey's Bristol Cream. What else did I get? I've got a load of other stuff, actually. Oh, chocolate. And and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Ooh,
that's the other thing. The other thing,
I've been to where they distill it.
Oh, you should have got me some. The other thing I need to mention.
That was ages ago. You know, back then when we were there, and had to have been 15 years ago. You could take the tour for free, and now they charge you $40 a person.
Oh, that's a bit mean, isn't it?
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, I must mention, because I should probably have done this at the beginning, and I'll probably try and remember to mention it in the blurb. This is our 15th birthday edition of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, even though
I sort of mentioned it.
I know, yeah, but not on the show itself. So this episode coincides with our 15th birthday. So that's easy. It makes it easier for me to remember that Isabella was 3, nearly 4 when we started the show. There you go. Anyway, so as of our next episode, which may be on the 8th of June, maybe on the 15th of June, watch this space. That's it for this week, although we'll be able to cover by then the whole of the rest of Series 2 of Shuti, and we'll be on to, what's the next Jodie episode, Kirby?
Here, let me bring up the...
I thought you already had it.
Well, I've got so many windows open. Arachnids in the UK.
Seem to remember that being absolutely awful, but we'll roll with it.
It is absolutely awful.
I do too, yeah.
And the doctor ends up just killing all the spiders.
Stop spoiling it. I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once.
We've seen it.
It is spoiled because I don't remember the story, apart from there being an American actor who's quite successful or someone who's in it, who plays a very poor rendition of a Trump or a stereotypical Trump type character.
Yeah, it's really,
terrible.
Really poor. And we can say right now it's terrible.
Okay, well, I'm going to watch it. And
we can all agree that it's terrible.
Have you seen it?
Can we move on to the next story?
No, unfortunately not. No, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to do that, wouldn't it, Mary? No.
Mary, unfortunately, the next one's also terrible.
No, shut up.
The Tsaranga conundrum.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay, we'll see. We'll watch them as and when we get to them. But until next time, thank you for listening, watching, and taking part in the show. Or those of you that could be bothered. Goodbye.
Goodbye, fancy pants.
Bye.
The 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.